And we are live, guys. Welcome to another live stream from the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. Today we are tackling the aspect of measuring your own masculinity. Who does that? Where could you measure your masculinity? On this channel, we're going to try and do it. And at the end of this video, or maybe in the middle, we're going to talk about the two ways. There are two specific ways that you can measure your own masculinity. Are you masculine or are you feminine? Let's go through this. The definition for masculinity is to be able to optimize your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors so as to benefit all of humankind. Optimize your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors to benefit all humankind. Are you able to optimize your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors? You could say control them, but optimization actually takes things to the next level because you can control your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, but are you prioritizing the best thoughts, emotions, and behaviors? Optimization of it. So, let's look at those three different things: thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. And let's start with thoughts. Do you think big? Our thoughts basically are a report of who we are. What we think is basically what we attract. If you are a person who thinks small, who thinks locally, who thinks instant gratification, who thinks me, then you basically haven't understood the philosophies of life. You haven't understood the laws of nature. You haven't understood your own personal potential in terms of power. Masculinity has everything to do with power and with leadership. And if you understand that, and you understand your own potential, you will always, as a masculine man, think huge. You'll think big. It is impossible to restrain you from thinking big. This is why I always say that it is feminine to remain an employee for life. You cannot remain an employee for life. At some point in time, you have to learn to run organizations. Okay, it starts with your own family and household, but eventually you have to, well, preferably you should do the organization of business first, and then you establish your household. But you get what I'm saying? That's in terms of, you need to learn how to run organizations, and preferably organizations with hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands of people, because you benefit them. That's masculine. Femininity would be to like, well, I like my safe, secure paycheck and blah, blah, blah. No. If you're going to become masculine, you have to think this way, and that's taking things to the next level. Let's move on to the emotion part, because this is really where it's at. Are you able to control or optimize your thoughts and emotions? The emotions aspect, I think of two things. Do you ever get angry? Do you ever get angry? Anger very often correlates with the word losing it. Losing it, okay? Now, as masculine men, we are winners. So why should you ever lose it? You shouldn't. As a masculine man, you never, ever, 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 ever get angry. Becoming angry means that you're emotional, that you can't control it, and that you're tapping into something that doesn't really help the situation. If you are rational and calm, you can more ably make the correct decision to help the situation. If you get angry, well, you've basically lost the situation and you'd have to move on to the next one, basically. Okay, so improve the aspect of controlling your thoughts, emotions, so you don't get angry. And I'd also like to mention SR at this point in time. And this is one of the two things that I was going to mention throughout the video. Are you able to control your SR journey? Are you able to not participate in PMO? And if you don't know what it is, look it up on Google, okay? Because if I say the words, then guess what? I get demonetized. So, can you abstain from PMO for 30, 60 to 90 days? If you can't manage to do a few days or 7 days or 14 days or whatever it is, then you've got some ways to go in your masculinity journey, and that's okay. Can you do it though? And if you can't do it, then you should set the goal to move towards that. One small step at a time, you can actually get to the point of achieving 90-day SR journey. Can you go beyond that? Well, beyond that, if I hear someone who goes beyond 90 days and who's not yet an entrepreneur and who hasn't established a side hustle that produces income, then he's not really doing SR. You have to practice SR beyond 90 days, and if to show that you're actually masculine, you need to tap into the discipline that SR helps you with in order for you to get the benefits of SR. Beyond 90 days and you're still an employee, or you don't have momentum going on in your life, then there's a serious problem, and you probably should get a coach and get started with your exit strategy to get out of those jobs. So that was one of the ways that you can actually measure your femininity and masculinity. Can you do 90 days? If not, you can't say that you're masculine. And then the last part would be behaviors. I wrote down irresponsible behavior. Are you responsible? Responsibility has everything to do with masculinity, leadership, being an example. If you're sleeping with women outside lifelong commitment, you are feminine. If you're sleeping with women outside lifelong commitment, and there's a lot of men doing that these days, you are, by default, a feminine man who doesn't understand the irresponsibility of doing so. You are destroying the future mothers of the next generation. If you sleep with them because you're committed to them for life, different story, okay? Keep them. Then you need to learn how to keep them, right? But if you're doing that without the lifelong commitment, you're just like, yeah, I kind of like having fun during the weekends and enjoy some feminine women. No, okay? That is completely and utterly irresponsible, and it labels you as a feminine man. Yes, that's you, Andrew Tate. And that's moving on. Do you have people skills? Okay, no offense to Andrew Tate, right? Do I have people skills? Yeah, anyway. Do you have people skills? Do you get along with people? If you can't get along with people, that means that you still have issues, right? Or that you're ignorant about what works when it comes to people skills. Ignorance is feminine. If you don't know what works, you're going to be failing. Failure in and of itself, yeah, you could say it's feminine, but it's also masculine, because the more you fail, the more you succeed, right? Femininity would be failing and then giving up. Masculinity would be failing, improving, and then eventually winning on a continual basis. And I would say the last one, and that's the second way that we measure femininity and masculinity. Are you passionate and excited and fired up, and do you actually do the 80-hour work week? SR and the 80-hour work week. These two are connected with the aspect of thinking big, of being an entrepreneur. All entrepreneurs who gets it, who understands what it takes to become successful in this life and to stay successful and to continuously expand your success, you need the 80-hour work week. You cannot do it without it. And even if you did it, it's masculine to work, okay? If you don't like work and you want to just become rich so you can relax on the beach, you're feminine. If you're thinking work is my life, okay, I love work and I'm going to continue working until the day I freaking die, okay, I'm going to be literally making deals on my deathbed because I know that it's going to improve society, it's going to create more and more and win-win situations that's going to improve the life for everyone. Two things to measure your own masculinity. Can you do 90 days of SR? And can you very quickly get to the 80-hour work week and stick with it long term, okay? And I suggest you can actually do the 80-hour work week this week or next week. And I count applying for jobs as part of these 80 hours. Suddenly, there is no excuse to not do the 80-hour work week. Oh, I don't have a job. Get a job, right? Applying for the 80-hour work week counts towards the 80 hours. So get started with the 80-hour work week today and finish your SR streak of 90 days, and I'll see you guys in the next one.